Take a deep breath, because what we are about to step into is not light. This is not simple. This is not casual. And this is not the kind of story people can just scroll past without feeling something shift inside them. Right now, the world of hip-hop appears to be caught in a storm so intense, so emotional, and so deeply personal that people everywhere are struggling to look away. What is unfolding does not feel like an ordinary celebrity clash. It does not feel like another routine exchange of insults, another petty online jab, or another cycle of industry shade. What is being said now? What is being repeated, speculated on, and magnified across social media seems to have gone somewhere much darker. Because this is no longer being framed as only a battle of egos. It is being talked about as something that cuts into the deepest parts of human life: marriage, family, loyalty, trust, humiliation, pain, and emotional collapse under the eyes of the public. For years, people have known 50 Cent for one thing above almost everything else: his willingness to provoke without hesitation. He has built a reputation as someone fearless, relentless, and often ruthless when it comes to mocking rivals, exposing weaknesses, and turning conflict into spectacle. Over and over again, the public has watched him fire shots that were sharp enough to rattle careers, embarrass opponents, and force reactions from even the toughest figures in entertainment. But if the reports now spreading online are even partially true, then many believe this latest situation involving T.I. and Tiny Harris may have entered territory that should never have been touched at all. And that is exactly why the emotional response has been so strong. According to rumors circulating across the internet, the long-running tension between 50 Cent and T.I. may have taken a painfully dark turn. The online conversation suggests that there could be a second wave of alleged footage, accusations, leaks, or damaging material involved. And if those claims are true, then the focus is no longer only on T.I. as a rapper, a public figure, or a cultural icon. According to what people are saying, the attention has shifted toward the most private center of his life: his home, his marriage, his family, and the woman who has stood beside him through the years. That is what has made people stop. Because when a feud remains between two men exchanging words, many people treat it as entertainment. They treat it as sport. They treat it as part of the culture. But the moment a family becomes the battlefield, the moment a wife's name is dragged into a war she did not begin, the moment children could be forced to feel the aftershocks of something they never asked to witness, everything changes. The tone changes. The meaning changes. The pain changes. Suddenly, the question is no longer who won the argument. The question becomes, how far is too far? What line should never be crossed, no matter how angry, proud, or powerful someone is? And once that line has been crossed in front of millions of people, can the damage ever truly be undone? At this moment, social media is flooded with speculation, reactions, arguments, anger, disbelief, memes, commentary, and endless theories. Some people are treating it like another day of celebrity chaos. Others are looking at it with real concern, because beneath all the noise there is something much more troubling taking shape. There are rumors that alleged footage may exist or may be used as leverage. There are accusations being repeated at lightning speed in comment sections. There are cryptic screenshots, clipped posts, reaction videos, indirect messages, and whispered claims flying from one account to another so quickly that it has become nearly impossible for many people to separate what is confirmed from what is simply being amplified. And that may be one of the saddest parts of all. Because in the digital age, damage often begins before the truth has even had the chance to arrive. Sometimes all it takes is a name trending for the wrong reason. Sometimes all it takes is one rumor, one post, one insinuation, one suggestive headline, and before anyone can breathe, explain, respond, or defend themselves, the public has already decided how to feel. The internet moves with terrifying speed. It does not wait for clarity. It does not reward patience. It does not always care about fairness, nuance, or emotional consequence. And when real people are trapped inside that machine, the cost can be devastating. That is why so many people are focusing not only on the accusations themselves, but also on the reported emotional fallout surrounding the Harris family. Atlanta is often celebrated as a city of rhythm, ambition, power, and cultural brilliance. It is a place where music lives in the air, where legacies are built, where stories rise from struggle into greatness. But in this moment, the image being described by online chatter is far from triumphant. Instead of celebration, people are describing heaviness. Instead of confidence, they are describing silence. Instead of victory, they are describing grief, pressure, and emotional exhaustion. The picture being painted by reports and online discussion is that of a household under crushing strain. A home that once symbolized success, resilience, and unity is now being described as surrounded by tension, fear, and heartbreak. Friends are said to be checking in. Family members are said to be worried. Phones are ringing. Messages are flooding in. Questions are multiplying. Doors are closing. And at the center of it all is a family reportedly trying to hold itself together, while millions of strangers watch from the outside. What seems to be hitting fans especially hard is the image being formed around T.I. himself. For years, T.I. has carried the energy of authority, pride, survival, and Southern royalty. He has often presented himself as a man who could endure anything: legal problems, public criticism, industry changes, personal challenges, and attacks on his name, and still remain standing. He has projected strength, control, and command. He has seemed like the kind of man who could absorb pressure without breaking. That is why the rumors of emotional collapse are landing with such force. Because the image now being discussed is not the image of a man commanding a stage or speaking from a place of power. It is the image of a husband, a father, and a human being who may be confronting one of the most painful storms of his life. According to what is being said online, he is not simply responding with rage or matching noise with louder noise. He is not only threatening retaliation or escalating publicly in the way some expected. Instead, the rumors suggest something much more painful: that he may be deeply shaken, emotionally overwhelmed, and wounded by the public nature of what is being said about his private world. People claiming to know the situation, or at least repeating what they believe to be true, are describing sorrow, frustration, disbelief, and even tears. They are describing not merely a man under criticism, but a man facing humiliation. Not merely someone dealing with gossip, but someone feeling as though his home, his love, and his legacy are being pulled apart in front of millions of eyes. And that is what makes this feel so tragic. Because even people who do not know the full truth can recognize pain when they see the shape of it. Anyone can understand what it feels like when private life becomes public entertainment. Anyone can imagine the ache of seeing your family name turned into a hashtag. Anyone can picture the quiet of a home when too much has been said outside its walls. Anyone can understand how deeply it hurts when strangers laugh at someone else's suffering. It hurts when a family is under attack. It hurts when dignity begins to slip away in public. It hurts when peace feels like it is disappearing all at once. And then there is Tiny. For many people watching this unfold, one of the most disturbing parts of the entire situation is the way women so often become targets in wars that begin between men. Tiny has long been seen by many as more than just someone standing beside a famous husband. She is a mother. She is a public figure in her own right. She is someone who has endured years of scrutiny, pressure, and headlines while trying to maintain her own identity in a life constantly watched by others. So to see her name reportedly being dragged through harsh, humiliating, and degrading conversation has sparked strong reactions across the internet. People are asking how any feud reaches the point where a woman's name becomes a weapon. They are asking why wives and mothers so often become collateral damage when men are trying to injure one another. They are asking what this says not just about the individuals involved, but about the culture itself. And those questions matter. Because even if every rumor eventually proves false, the emotional harm caused by public shamming can still leave scars that do not disappear just because a headline fades. Once people begin repeating damaging claims, once insults start flooding comment sections, once strangers begin speaking with certainty about a life they know only through fragments and rumor, the atmosphere becomes ugly very quickly. At that point, the conversation stops being about truth. It stops being about understanding. It becomes a feeding frenzy. And that is what so many people are disturbed by right now. Not only the claims themselves, but the cruelty, the speed, and the strange excitement some people seem to feel while watching another family suffer in public. Meanwhile, the online world continues to intensify everything. Every cryptic post adds fuel. Every joke adds pressure. Every meme strips away seriousness. Every theory video magnifies emotion. Every screenshot creates another wave. Every indirect comment invites another 1,000 reactions. Instead of creating room for reflection, social media rewards escalation. The louder the conflict becomes, the more attention it receives. The more painful the situation appears, the more people click. And in moments like this, it begins to feel as though humanity itself is being swallowed by spectacle. That is why this story has become larger than celebrity gossip. People are now asking whether rap feuds have lost their boundaries completely. They are asking whether social media has transformed humiliation into a strategy. They are asking whether public figures are expected to survive any degree of cruelty simply because fame has made people forget they are still human beings. And perhaps the hardest question of all is this: how does a family recover when millions of people have already watched it bleed? According to the online narrative, the pressure within the Harris household may not only be emotional. It may also be practical, financial, legal, and deeply personal. There are stories circulating that relatives may be divided, that loved ones may be offering conflicting advice, that older wounds may be reopening, and that difficult conversations may be taking place behind closed doors. There is speculation that publicists, legal teams, or crisis managers may already be involved. There is talk that efforts may be underway to contain the spread of damaging narratives or alleged material. None of that has been fully confirmed in the public conversation, but the picture being described is one of total strain. And then there are the children. This is the part that many people find the most heartbreaking, because when adults go to war in public, children often carry pain they never chose. A child does not understand the mechanics of celebrity conflict. A child does not care about internet trolling, branding, media cycles, or power games. A child only feels tension in the room. A child notices silence. A child notices exhausted faces. A child notices when phones will not stop buzzing, when voices sound strained, when tears are hidden, and when everyone says things are fine even though nothing feels fine at all. That is why so many reactions to this story are rooted not in entertainment, but in sadness. Because whatever the truth turns out to be, the cost of this kind of public conflict can reach innocent people who never asked to be involved. And according to the ongoing rumor mill, part of what may be breaking T.I. emotionally is not only what is being said about his marriage, but the possibility of his children one day seeing it, hearing it, or reading it for themselves. For a man whose identity has long been tied to pride, strength, leadership, and protection, that kind of helplessness could feel unbearable. And that is what gives this story its emotional weight. Because the rumor being told is not just about rivalry, revenge, or jealousy. It is about a man who may feel unable to shield the people he loves from the full force of the internet. And that kind of pain can break even someone who appears strong to the world. At the same time, there are also people pulling back and asking harder questions. They are asking whether this entire narrative has been exaggerated. They are asking whether the claims have grown larger and darker as they moved through social media. They are asking whether this is yet another example of the internet turning whispers into headlines and assumptions into accepted truth. And those questions matter just as much. Because in moments like this, people can become so consumed by drama that they forget the most basic responsibility of all: to separate what is confirmed from what is emotionally powerful. Once a scandal becomes entertaining to the crowd, truth can quickly become secondary. And when that happens, everybody loses. Still, it is impossible to deny the emotional force of this moment. This story has struck a nerve because it touches fears that are painfully universal: betrayal, embarrassment, helplessness, family pain, public humiliation, and the nightmare of watching your private world become a public stage. That is why this feels bigger than a trending topic. It feels like a warning. It feels like a mirror reflecting one of the darkest sides of celebrity culture. It feels like the kind of moment that reminds people how quickly admiration can turn into mockery, how fast respect can collapse into ridicule, how easily a legacy can be overshadowed by scandal, how brutally the internet can strip the humanity out of a situation and turn suffering into content. And as the hours pass and the noise keeps growing, one truth becomes harder and harder to ignore. This is no longer just about winning. Whatever began as conflict has now been transformed, at least in the eyes of the public, into something much more destructive. People are not only watching a feud, they are watching what appears to be the possible unraveling of trust, peace, identity, and emotional stability inside a family many once believed was strong enough to survive anything. That is why the weight of this story keeps growing. Because it is not only shocking, it is not only controversial, it is not only viral, it is sad, it is uncomfortable, it is deeply human. It is the sound of pride colliding with vulnerability beneath the cruelest kind of spotlight. It is the image of a household trying to breathe while the world keeps pressing its face against the window. It is the question of whether love, history, and loyalty can survive once shame and rumor have already entered the room. And no matter where anyone stands on the personalities involved, that kind of pain is something almost everyone can understand. So now the world waits. It waits to see whether there will be a response. It waits to see whether the rumors will be denied, challenged, confirmed, or buried beneath even louder noise. It waits to see whether this family can protect what remains of its peace. And it waits to see whether the culture itself will learn anything from watching this unfold. Because there is a larger lesson here, and it reaches far beyond one feud. Fame does not protect anyone from heartbreak. Money does not prevent humiliation. Status does not stop sorrow. And in the age of the internet, even the most powerful people can suddenly feel very small when their pain becomes entertainment for strangers. That truth is chilling. And it may be the real reason this story has shaken so many people. So as this discussion comes to a close, perhaps the most important thing to remember is this. Behind every headline, every joke, every viral post, every meme, and every rumor, there are still real human beings living through real emotional consequences. There are families trying to survive difficult nights. There are relationships being tested in silence. There are children who may one day have to make sense of things they never should have been forced to witness. There are wounds no camera can fully capture. If the situation is truly unfolding the way it is being described, then this may be remembered as one of the most painful and controversial moments in modern hip-hop conversation. Not only because of the names involved, but because of what it represents. The collision of fame and ego. The collision of pride and vulnerability. The collision of technology and cruelty. The collision of family and public spectacle. The collision of image and emotional survival. And now the question turns to everyone watching. Should personal relationships and family always remain off limits, no matter how intense a feud becomes? Has social media made public conflict far crueler than it used to be? Does vulnerability make a man look weak, or does it reveal how deeply human he truly is? And what does this moment say about the way women are treated when public battles between men spiral out of control? Those are not small questions. They matter. And the conversation around them matters too. Because in a world that moves fast, judges fast, and forgets compassion far too easily, maybe the one thing people should hold onto most tightly is the reminder that pain is still pain, even when the person's suffering is famous. And sometimes the most powerful response to chaos is not mockery. Sometimes it is humanity.